of the game at Football Park. We had a very heavy shower just 5 minutes ago. Not there at the moment. Peter Bythene's at fullback on Rick Davies, and Philip Graham's on his cousin Michael. As Moore won the tap to Van Dommel, Hutton almost, central kicking with the breeze, and it'll be worth a couple of goals for sure. Pake to Reed, to Painter. It sits. Painter often wears a long sleeve Guernsey, not today. Zubranik short, and Leonard takes the mark.
It was very well played by Russell Hutton, getting back into defence very quickly then, Bruce, on that first take. Central's being penalised 15 metres. It'll be Jeff Leonard from centre wing. Sturt kicking into a pretty stiff breeze. Spiel in the front position. Moore spoils away. Derrington. Fry tackled very quickly when he receives the handball from Derrington. It'll be a bounce on the half-forward flank.
Stephen Bowen given the job of playing at centre half-back on Eddie Fry. Got some good movement, Bowen. Hearn, tackled by Filkey and caught holding the ball. Craig Filkey will get a 15-metre penalty.
Peter Bythene at full-back on Rick Davies.
Long, long way out, Filkey. Much too far out to score. Goals aren't going to be easy at the Lake End today. Small crowd in attendance. Drop punt. Holding up in the breeze, but a good kick. Davies in the front spot. Bythene with a thump away. Big Frank with a shot. Michael Graham missed Eddie Fry with a handball. Taken by Hearn. Hearn with a wobbly drop punt to the centre, and Brendan Howard takes the mark.
You can see why Neil Craig likes Brendan Howard, one of his favourites, dropping back on the defensive side of centre, waiting for the long rebounding kick. Advantage the ball quickly to Leonard. Davies this time spoiling away from Bythene. The move obviously paying dividends straight away. Davies in the front position on that first thrust a moment ago. Bythene with the height to spoil away.
They're doing the ruck work together. Standing back was Butler waiting, but he missed it. Derrington with a shot towards goal, which will go out of bounds on the full. Central District hasn't really got deep into attack as yet. Just over 2 minutes gone, and Graham will kick the ball in. This is Phillip.
To the half-back flank. A very nice mark taken on that position out there by the Sturt player Craig Filkey. So it'll be Craig Filkey from half-forward. It's usually quite a good kick. He'll need to be into that breeze. It's held its line well. Bythene from the front position spoiling away. Ray Wilson, he's very quick. Handballs it away. Couldn't get it on the boot. Peter Vivian. Howard again sitting in defence well. Recovers quickly after getting a bad bounce. Evades. Tackled. Ball falls from hand. Connolly can't take possession yet. He has now. Peter Creed. Straight at the goal front. Fraser coming at the ball. Straight on. Painter coming in. Running straight at him, out of control. Downs, he can't take possession. Finally, the ball got away there by Edwards. Edwards to Robertson. Wilson trying to get possession. He's doing it pretty well at the moment. See, that's good recovery and pace, and he gets it forward. And Jeff Leonard takes the mark in the centre of the ground.
Leonard was going to handball, didn't. Filkey gets his third kick. Had a big start to the game, Craig Filkey. Got some distance on that kick into the breeze. Davies in the front spot. No free kick. Should have been.
Oh, terrible.
Bythene. Rick Davies with one over the shoulder against him and not played. Pake took a chance. Stopped by Bubner. Krieg. Bad handball. That's not good football at all.
That's the wet ball does that, Bruce. They're not used to see. They don't judge in the dry weather. They can handball over their shoulder. You can't in the wet.
Howard. Filkey, another touch. Not such a good one, but he set it up for Heinrich. Mark Heinrich with a left footer playing his first league game of the season. And Eddie Fry takes a finger tipper.
Oh, great mark. Good to see Mark Heinrich back into football again. Bruce has had a couple of very bad seasons of injuries. A very talented player as a young man. Fry. It's a pretty good kick really into this breeze. He got the distance okay. The breeze helping, it's on its way. So it's a behind to Eddie Fry. Sturt score first. We've been playing over 4 minutes and they'd be pretty happy. I know it's very, very early, but they've had possession for 70% of the game. Eddie Fry then allowing for that breeze a little, Bruce. Curved it a bit more than he expected. And yet again, it covered a lot of distance from this pocket coming in from the grandstand. And Peter Bythene goes short to Renee Van Dommel. He's got the mark in the back pocket on the outer side of Football Park. He goes to centre wing with a long kick. Spill can't touch it, goes over his head. Picked up by Mobbs. Bree can't get it, spoiled away by Leonard. Just ahead of Livesey as it goes out of bounds on centre wing.
Dean Mobbs was named as an interchange player, but he started. I think Maguire might be the player on the interchange bench. Frank Spiel in the front spot, lays it down to Derrington, then Painter with a left footer. Good mark by Bone, then committed to playing on as he ran on, and then the ball out of bounds on the full. Couldn't stop in his tracks there. He ran on about 3 metres, then was called to play on, and he ran out of room, and with a hurried kick, Derrington will kick it back in.
Jim Derrington had a very good season for Sturt this year. Led the Roving, realising some of his real potential. Spill falls forward, Fry gathers. Well done, Eddie Fry. Over to Filkey, he's playing very well. Davies takes the mark as Filkey kicks one off his bunion. Whipped it across to Davies. And Davies got a bit of reflex still, the big fellow. Just plucked the wet ball out of the air. I think he thought it was just a chaff bag flying past.
To take his best, Robert, from there.
He's right into it, Bruce. It's not an easy kick. Oh, he's timed it. That's all. Not straight. Another behind to Sturt. There too. Central's yet to score with the aid of a strong breeze. Just over 6 minutes of play in this first quarter.
Bytheen again going short, not as short this time. Livesey. They run Livesey towards the boundary line. Hearn, but it is out of bounds and be a ball in. Central not all that direct, Robert, at the moment.
Well, they can't get hold of the ball, Bruce, to really get mobile. They're being held up. You can see Howard's playing beautifully in defence back here at the moment, sitting back, and his Krieg's chasing kicks all over the ground.
Thomas with a handball. Hart to Philip Graham. Drop punt. Now Central get into attack. Sims. Hutt. Good play there. Michael Graham.
He ran across the front then beautifully. That very quick acceleration.
Then to centre half forward. Painter at the back. Spill and Moore both misjudged it. And then Van Dommel will help Painter and give away a 15 metre.
I think Michael Graham actually kicked that ball to John Painter then. Bruce, he was there on his own. And he went for the longer kick, and it certainly is carrying a little bit when they're coming in from this member stand side. The ball getting a little bit more distance.
Painter from 40 metres out. Drop punt. Great kick that. Straight as a die. Painter's got his first. And this is a good start by Sturt. They're 1-2, Central yet to score.
Yes, Central Districts won't want to allow John Painter to get free during the afternoon. It was interesting to see then that Michael Graham making that pace across the front of that pack coming into the half-forward line. He accelerated very quickly. He did it a few moments ago up in the forward line, I noticed. Certainly moving very confidently. And his kick was spot on to John Painter, and John Painter likewise.
Spiel and Moore. Spiel easily, but two Mobs, left footer. Hart, front spot, couldn't hold it. Zuberning over the top. Free kick to Darryl Hart.
Well, Grant Zuberning did that well in the initial stage then, Bruce. He didn't dive on top of him when Hart fell underneath him. Then was a little bit careless on the second go. He had him cold once he went to ground. He didn't have to do anything like falling over.
Darryl Hart's a long way out. He's got the breeze at his back. Oh, that's a poor kick. Fraser, downs from the back. Wilson, caught by Vivian. Reed, Wilson, very cleverly done to Vivian. Across the face of goal, and Zubernick takes the mark.
Grant Zubernick just dropping back into the square. He'll play on wide. And out there on the far side is Mark Heinrich. Mark Heinrich from the back pocket up to the half-back line. Moore in top position. Mob says, no thanks, I'll just snip in and help myself. Moore just bodying out Spill, and it's Dean Mobbs now. It's a wobbly floating kick, very difficult to mark. Wilbur just slipped out of his tummy, picked up by Fraser. Hart, goal.
Hart's got the first for Central District after 9 minutes. That ball coming from Mobbs after Moore had gone for the mark. Mobbs took it, he quickly played on with Spill running over the mark. Wilson falling out of his lap, and then the handball from Fraser to Hart, and Hart's left foot snap was a lot better than his shot for goal a minute earlier, and Central District within 2 points.
It'll be Frank Spiel in opposition to Terry Moore. Terry Moore coming into a slight angle to the centre line of the ground. Spiel smacking it forward. Fry caught behind. Bone taking the ball. Eddie Fry not giving much opposition. He mustn't let that happen too many times. The kick is over half forward. Peter Reid with good movement. He's held on to, but he's got good balance. Then taps it on to Howard. Well done. Howard goes over half forward. Dropping back though is Bone yet again. Eddie Fry not pleased. I think he thought that Brendan Howard could kick it 70 yards to him. Eddie Fry's got to get to the fall of the ball at centre half forward.
Bone towards the centre wing. Sims at the back. Now Barbary. And a free kick against Wilson for legging. Barbary to Hutton. Hutton goes wide and gets some distance. Bumner underneath it. Fry's there. He's got 3 opponents. Bumner runs in towards the boundary line. It'll go out. No, Derrington kept it in. Maybe it would have been better if it had gone out. Livesey to Mobbs. That's a great handball. Mobbs having some touches towards centre half forward. Hart again. Long handball to Van Dommel. Van Dommel through the centre. Short. Downs over the back of Fraser. Reid. Got some skills. Not all that good a kick. The idea was right. Fraser will get a free kick. Fell over and Pake over the top.
Yes, Pake kicked, not Pake, Reid's kick was okay, Bruce. He had a central player up ahead of him. He kicked it in the air. He'd have been in a bit of strife, I think. He tried to just dribble along, but very careless, and Terry Moore comes off, and Richard Cousins comes on as Robert Fraser prepares. It's a good kick. The wind blowing straight down the ground. He'll have to favour the left-hand post. He's gone to the right hand, and there's no way it'll come in from there. So it's through from behind to Central Districts. They're 1-1, and Sturt 1-2.
Big Cousins on the ground for Central. Sturt's doing well. We're well into this quarter now, over 11 minutes, and they're still in front. Downs to the eastern side. Waiting at the back, Livesey. Spiel and Cousins both getting underneath it. Cousins helping Spiel a bit more to get underneath it a little more than he was. Livesey with a drop punt. Hart couldn't touch it, out of bounds on the full. Not a good kick.
Yeah, a bit of control required, even when you're kicking with the breeze. Not always easy. Wind blowing the ball off the foot on the way down. Still got to get it in straight. It's Grant Zuber, and it goes back to half back. Spiel goes to spoil. Mobbs almost took the mark again. Just handballs it up quickly, and Van Dommel goes into the centre half forward position. Ray Wilson's knocked over just as he scooped it out. It was Russell Hutton that couldn't quite take that mark a moment ago. Barbary in short. The ball goes towards him. Craig Barbary from half back to centre wing. Out of bounds. 1-2 Sturt. Central's 1-1. 12.5 minutes first quarter.
Cousins and Spiel. Big Frank's been a great player for Sturt in the last year or two. The wind taking the ball, and it favoured Cousins in the end. Painter, after Bubner's kick was very short. Bone. Heinrich.
Oh, beautifully done.
Painter left it. Krieg. Howard playing the defensive role very well to Heinrich. Heinrich to Filkey.
It's got some power, that handball. It's given Painter the chance. He's too slow to really take advantage of it, unfortunately. Philip Graham now rebounding. Ran his full 15 metres. Central District's a bit slow there for Stephen Bowen. The umpire allowing the play to go on. That's good footy. No need to call it up. It'll be a bounce down at centre half forward for Sturt.
Davies, Cousins and Bytheen. Filkey, Heinrich, left foot. Bubner took a chance. Graham tried to paddle at the Bubner. Thomas, good tackle by Davies. And again a ball up. Painter might have hurt himself momentarily. I think he'll be okay.
The Central player's a bit lucky then. Bruce, he dropped the ball straight out of his hands.
Bytheen against Davies. Davies with a snap. Now the two Grahams are getting underneath it. Phillip couldn't take it. Hearn had to hurdle him. Would have been good effort there by Hearn. He pushed it to the boundary line. So it's a point the difference with the rain coming down at Football Park.
Rick Davies, Peter Bytheen. Bytheen in front. Taps the ball away. Filkey's in position. Went through his legs, unfortunately for him. Van Dommel dribbling it around the side of the oval. And notice when the ball hit the ground, then Bruce's spray of water came off, so there's obviously a little bit of dampness on that grass. And when we were down there a little bit earlier, the grass, in fact, a little bit long, I feel. I don't think the curators cut it very short for today's game.
Spill and Cousins, and Bubner over the top. Spill's going to get a free kick. Cousins locked arms with him. Frank Spill very rarely beaten in club football in Adelaide. Towards the pocket. Derrington, that's a good mark. Ball held up in the breeze. He was able to take it despite some pressure. Too far out, Derrington, but if he kicks the ball and punches it, he's got some chance of putting it towards the scoring zone. Davies underneath it. Actually, Bything did a good job, Robert, because that ball was going to go into Davies' lap. That was a good kick. All the crowd thought, oh, it's out of reach and out of position, but he aimed it in the right spot to let it come in with that breeze. It was well done. Be Davies and Bything. Bything in front, tapping it away, only as far as Painter, and he gets it onto his foot very well, but only through Flora behind. He's kicked 1 goal, 1, John Painter. Sturt have kicked 1 goal, 3, and they lead Central's 1 goal, 1. Once again, Peter Bything has done pretty well in the early stages of this game. Decides to go long this time. Spiel missed it. Howard, he's playing well. Oh, fantastic game at the moment, Bruce. He stopped every play that they've looked like going to attack. Here he is again. He's got a bad bounce. And Krieg through the centre. Fraser's on a lead. So that bad bounce, Howard read it beautifully, but it bounced well for Krieg, and Krieg with a quick movement to Fraser. And Robert, he's such a good kick, you'd want to bet on him from here. Yes, I'd like to put a couple of cents on him. He's kicked it beautifully too, Bruce. Straight through the big one. 1 goal to Fraser. Central in front. They're 2-1 to 1-3. That ball bouncing badly for Howard in the centre. Krieg's got some pace, and you could see the value of the breeze as well. Fraser on a long lead. He took the mark well in front of Downs and then converted. So it's taken Central over 16 minutes, Robert, to hit the front, and they've really got to put 3 or 4 goals on now, I think, between now and quarter time. It's not going to be very easy, even with the breeze down here at the moment, with this wind. Very tricky wind indeed. It'll be Frank Spill and Richard Cousins. Cousins replacing Moore. The umpire's bounced it into the breeze on a couple of occasions in the centre now. Fry can't take possession. Livesey, Leonard, Painter. Nice movement out of the back pocket there by Jamie Thomas to half forward. Ball really carrying down that side of the ground. Trevor Sims recovering first. He'll be happy to see it go out of bounds right in front of the scoreboard. It's a very long rebounding kick. When one considers that ball was kicked from the half-back line, it's now down into the forward pocket on just 1 rebound. You can imagine how strong the breeze is. Robertson and Sims. Robertson straight to Hutton, to Painter, having a lot of kicks. Van Dummel, oh, that's a good mark. Ball virtually stopping dead in the breeze, and Van Dummel diving forward and taking the mark. Van Dummel also getting some kicks in this first quarter. Michael Graham underneath it, couldn't quite handle it as the sun's about to break through. Vivian, short. Will it get to Wilson? Not quite. Reid did well. Downs, that's a very good pick-up. Wilson underneath it with Vivian. Still Vivian and Wilson. Vivian pushes the ball out of bounds. Frank Spill and Richard Cousins. Brendan Howard and Peter Krieg behind the pack with Michael Graham. Cousins takes possession to Vivian, to centre half forward. Off hands, Peter Reid to the outer side. Heinrich and Livesey with a chance to get a run at it. Livesey bodying well. He was shepherding, I feel, with 1 arm. The free kick's been paid. A beautiful disposal to Peter Krieg. Peter Krieg from centre half forward, punching a strong kick. Will run straight out of bounds with the skidding off the grass. So Central's into attack again. They're playing a little better now. Robertson is playing at centre half forward. And Sims at centre half back will do the ruck work in the forward line. Robertson used his body well, caught by Zubranic. Got a kick away though. Chance here for Edwards, but well done by Peter Reid. Edwards was almost through, so a rush behind to Central. 2-2 to 1-3. Bything was named to play at centre half forward today. but he started the game at full back.
Andrew Downs, kicking to the outer side, perhaps favouring the edge of the square a little bit more this time. Spiel trying to recover and to get on top of that, but he can't. Picked up by Mobbs, gives it across to Krieg. Krieg, Sims getting behind that flying ball. Beautiful take by Wilson. And just tapped onto the behind post, on the goal post, and through from behind. Wilson thought he was clear. Reed had him quick as a flash, right on him. Very good defensive work. So it'll be Andrew Downs to kick it in again with 2-3 Central, 1-3 to Sturt.
Moore's about to come on. He won't for a moment because Cousins is out there. Spiel thunter backwards. Heinrich and Livesey. Livesey having some touches in this first quarter to Hart. Hart, half forward flank. Puts the ball on the ground. Drop punt. Downs is back there with Wilson. That's a good mark to Downs. Not paid. Reed. Zubranic. Zubranic with one little movement runs out of bounds.
They're all deliberate. Bruce, I'd pay all those, and gee, the game would take a new aspect altogether. We saw Vivian do it a little while ago, tap one out, and Zubranic just running over the boundary line with the ball.
Sims in the front spot, Robertson at the back, Edwards tried to get a handball away. Graham, Hutton didn't take it. Fraser, Robertson with a snap, it's missed. Central District 2-4 to 1-3. Behind to Robertson. Central having a bit of the ball at the moment, not converting.
No, they're not having much luck in the conversion department. Robertson could have scored that. Would have been a pretty handy goal for them. He had the opportunity, had his leg fairly clear. He had the breeze behind him. He had to really kick it up straight into the centre of the goal, and it would have just floated through for him. So it'll be Andrew Downs, the outer side, Spiel in front. He can't mark it. Derrington can't take it. And finally, Central District's through Hart, long and high. Another behind. We'll give that to Darryl Hart. Kick 1-1 now. 2-5 to 1-3.
So Andrew Downs is having plenty of work in this first term, and he is kicking in very well, getting distance. Livesey takes a falling mark. Livesey winning his swing at the moment on Mark Heinrich.
Heinrich had a couple of touches very early in the quarter, but in the last 10 minutes, as Central have gotten to attack, played well. And this time, Frank Spiel, running over the mark as he's done on every other occasion, obviously did it before the umpire had called play on. So there'll be a 15-metre penalty and a very real opportunity now for Central District to score. Terry Moore coming back onto the ground. Fairly quick change then between Cousins and Moore. About 10 minutes each by the looks of things, Bruce, before the change was made. So Stephen Livesey. Long and strong and crooked.
Not a bad attempt by Livesey. So 2-6 to 1-3. 22 minutes gone. Yes, the Cousins not on for long or more. I wonder if Darryl Hicks is going to try and wear Frank Spiel out. Downs again. He'd like Frank to wear out, I'm sure. He almost took that one.
Gee, the umpire was pretty tough today. He stopped that dead.
Livesey's handball taken by Michael Graham.
He was tripped.
Brendan Howard across to Russell Hutton, and Hutton with a drop punt.
He seems pretty sure of himself at the moment. Hutton, some of his takes have been good. Bill Hearn takes the mark, 15-metre penalty against Filkey. Hearn plays on to Philip Graham. Graham through the square to centre half forward. Over Pake's head. Edwards can't take possession. He dives on top of it as another Central's player. Sturt player Zubranic thrown out of the road. Edwards has got his road, so he threw him out of the road, and the umpire decides he'll bounce the ball.
Spiel and Moore. Bad bounce taken by Krieg. Left-footed and go very far. Tap forward by Conley to Mobbs. Mobbs, I thought, fell over, but he's going to get a free kick against Zubranic.
For kicking in danger, Bruce. All he did was put his leg across him. Now there's another 15-metre penalty. Looks like the umpires are going to be a little bit more strict on that 15-metre penalty. The player's trying to retard the progress of a player who is in possession of the ball.
Grant Zubranic not all that well at the moment. Mobbs is normally a very long kick. Drop punt, timed it well. It's straight, it's a goal, all right. So Mobbs has kicked the goal, and Central District 3-6, Sturt 1-3.
It's a very handy goal for Central District. It's a long, straight kick. It was one they needed, and it was a true goal of the captain. If anyone was supposed to kick a goal, I suppose a captain should in that position, but it certainly steadied them. And with this slippery conditions and this very strong breeze, Sturt are going to find it very difficult to come back.
Spiel in the ruck against Moore. Another goal or two before quarter time would be a pretty good break. Spiel won it, Leonard, Bowman, Fry. Philip Graham's played a good game. Dropping the ball and getting a free kick, Rene Van Dommel.
And also just falling over in front, Bruce. Still, the umpire pays it. He got there first. They pay them all day. And consistent, no one minds. Off hands. Ball just handballed out wildly to Krieg. He kicks it forward. Mobbs can't get the ball to go for him. Edwards, Robertson with a simple goal on his left foot. And he's kicked it. Jeff Robertson, fourth goal for Central, 4-6 to 1-3. And Grant Zubrnik being carried from the ground after that collision just a few moments ago. Mark Heinrichs dropped back into the back pocket to cover for Grant Zubrnik. Eddie Fry will go back onto the half-back flank. Rick Davies coming out the centre half forward. And the new player is yet to come onto the ground.
Zubrnik unfortunate. He's been playing off the interchange bench most of this year. Gets his chance today and he's injured within 15 minutes. Or 20 minutes. Howard, Spiel to Howard. Oh, Howard got rid of it in a hurry and not to the right player. Bumner with a high one and a long one. Wilson interfering badly, not paid. Edwards fell over. He's done that a few times today. Mark Heinrich back there in a hurry and he'll get a free kick.
It's the same free kick as before, Bruce. Hardly a free kick. Player just falling over in front. Heinrich plays on. Shane Hewish just has come onto the ground. He's on his own on the wing with Barry and then kicks the ball out of bounds on the full.
Duncan Fosdyke didn't do that on Tuesday night, Robert.
Will you ever forget that? Walked off the bench, freezing cold, and drilled one through the centre from half forward.
Livesey having a ton of kicks towards centre half forward. Free kick to Timmy Pake. Pake, very, very talented footballer. Hutton's made it a bit hard for him, but he's given him the run of it. Vivian will try and run him down, and run him down he does. And gets away. Could have gone short, decided to go long, and Robertson took them up. Jeff Robertson playing a useful first quarter. Central District attacking strongly. Livesey on a lead and he's taken the mark, and that was a splendid kick, Robert.
Livesey over on the member stand side at the moment. He's been on the other side of the ground. Mark Heinrich been back into the back pocket. Darryl Hicks is up and mobile.
Been up on the top of the stand, Robert. He's come down for the quarter-time address, no doubt. He'd be a lot happier at the moment as the sun shines brightly and Livesey misses.
That's a bad miss.
That's not good enough, is it, from 20 metres out? He's played so well, Stephen Livesey. Yet a goal there would have made a big difference. It's 4 goals, 7 to 1-3.
It would seem like about a 10-goal breeze blowing behind you, Bruce, but it's so difficult to control the ball that all those, 20 metres are the ones you can't afford to miss. So it's Andrew Downs kicking in. Van Dommel trying hard out there. He can't take possession.
Hart short to Krieg. Hart's playing pretty well, and so's Krieg in the centre. Krieg with a drop punt. Robertson underneath it. Sims comes in late. Robertson fell over, taken by Downs to Howard. Quickly onto the boot. Bohm, Fry waited back. Couldn't quite get it away in a hurry. Bohm. Filkey helps Fry out. Still Bohm. Persistent. Livesey. Livesey's had a big quarter. This is his 6th kick. Had a couple of handballs as well. Hearn. Connolly.
Central with another chance to score. Got a good handball, well taken by Hart. Hart goes across to the centre half forward position. Jeff Leonard gets a touch. Kicks it quickly out towards Heinrich and Vivian. They'll obviously change wings, Central Districts. Vivian. Robertson can't take possession. Wilson gets it off hands. Robertson drags it back in underneath him. There'll be a bounce down at centre half forward. 4-7 Centrals, 1-3 to Sturt at quarter time at Football Park. Start of the second quarter. Central Districts, having kicked with a strong breeze, are leading 4-7 to 1-3. Moore takes possession. Just kicks it forward, and Tim Pake marks at half-back. Look for Jeff Leonard. Goes past him to Craig Barbary. Barbary evades. It's Brendan Maguire, who's on the ground in the place of Jamie Thomas, and he kicks it to full forward, and Davies in possession. Can't complete the mark. Central play having the ball held to him. Finally it falls out of his hands as Peter Bytheen handballs it long. Knocked on by Bubner. Van Dommel. A lot of scrambling. Will Hearn waving at something there. Van Dommel just sitting on top of the ball. So it'll be a bounce down on half forward. Very scrambly start. Rick Davies had a chance to take a mark in front of goal. Would have been a handy mark had he been able to convert in particular. Might have got Sturt off to a good start.
Spiel and Moore. Moore won it. Barbary given any chance to get rid of it and holding the ball. Van Dommel punches a drop punt. High one by Hutton, hugging the boundary line. Free kick should have gone to Painter. No free kick, ball in. Gee, they were tough on Barbary there.
Oh, yes. He went for the ball strongly, next to a boundary, they had nowhere to go. Spill interfering with Terry Moore. Free kick to Moore. There'll be Moore now from half-back. No one wanting to stand the mark. Finally, it's Filkey that does. To centre wing. Robertson in front. Spill can't take the mark. He gets a free kick for falling over himself. But that's if it is him that gets the free kick. It was a nice fly anyway. Russell Hutton to centre half forward.
The two Grahams underneath it, Michael and Phillip. Davies, oh, that was brilliantly done to Graham. Now he should kick this. No, Barbary, here's a goal. Straight through, magnificent Davies. 4-7 to 2-3. Barbary's got his first.
That was a magnificent bit of play by the big fellow Davies. Oh, how important it is to half volley a ball and put your body behind the line of flight. Rick Davies showing then that with the ball coming in on a slippery ground, that if you put your body behind it, let it come right through to your body, and then just let it slip out, you can handball just as quickly, if not more quickly, than taking it in your hands, which a lot of modern people are proposing that players should take the ball in hands because you can get rid of it a lot more quickly. I've got a feeling that if you take it on your body and stop it dead, you've got more body to stop it on, and just pop out the little handball. Oh, what a difference it makes.
Moore and Spiel again. Stirred off to a quicker start than Central were in the first quarter. Left foot by Painter. A high one. Davies underneath it with Bytheen. Derrington read it well to Davies. Short drop punt. Graham underneath it. Now Phillip Graham getting back on it. It'll almost go out. Not quite. Maguire. And it'll be a ball in.
Maguire got back well then, Bruce, into that square to intercept that kick from Davies to Graham. It was a strong kick across the ground to Michael Graham. Maguire anticipated very well.
Bytheen and Davies have done most of the ruck work. Davies gave him a little shove and then gave it to Leonard, and Leonard's kicked the goal. So Davies is doing all right. Leonard's first, and it's 3-3 to 4-7.
One can appreciate now why Sturt won a couple of finals in the mid-70s when Rick Davies was at his absolute best in the ruck. His ruck work then, just laying the ball back. He did one in the first quarter that he laid back that Sturt didn't convert, but on that occasion, a magnificent bit of rucking. He just threw the ball back to Jeff Leonard, and it was very well done. So it's Jamie Thomas ready to come back on, and it's Frank Spill against Terry Moore in the centre. Mobbs throws the ball away, left his hand before he hit it with his fist, and as a result has been penalised for throwing.
At the Four Seasons at Football Park today, it's shining brightly. Spill to full forward. Davies and Bytheen. Michael Graham. Edwards. Filkey. Left foot. Goal.
That was magnificently done by Craig Filkey. Sturt's fourth, they're 4-3. Central 4-7 as Craig Filkey intercepts brilliantly, anticipating the ball coming out there on the handball. He is certainly a very talented ball player, and I think also up in that forward area now, the Sturt players are realising that the big fellow Peter Bytheen's going to spoil away from Rick Davies all day, and they're down in front of the pack waiting for every possible crumb that's coming.
Maguire back in the interchange bench. Thomas on. Central District playing a loose man in defence and Van Dommel, but it's not working at the moment. Pake towards Fry and Leonard. Sturt easily winning it out of the centre, Robert, and it'll be a ball in because Central District will be able to kick goals into this breeze if they can get out forward.
Yes, it's because Central's just knocking it forward. If they knock the ball forward to that loose man standing on the edge of the square, he'll clear 9 times out of 10, Bruce, and he's got the full face of the ground.
Pate without an opponent.
Yes, he's the loose man in defence who's just got it now, and that's Rene Van Dommel. Gives the ball out to Edwards. Edwards to Vivian. Vivian's played a very good game. He props, goes up to half forward, just ahead of Pate. Rob's coming in from behind, taking it out of bounds at centre wing.
Central worked very hard in that first quarter to establish some sort of a break, and Sturt has got back virtually level in 5 minutes. So it's going to be a lot of hard work for Central from here on in, as it's Spill and Moore. Darrington, tackled by Edwards, deemed to be holding the ball.
It's an unbelievable decision for holding the ball. They were holding that ball to him, and then when he broke clear, with the ball being held, the umpire just penalised him straight away for holding the ball. Edwards to centre half forward. Spill nearly completing the mark, but not quite. Certainly got the height, Frank Spill. Just can't seem to grab hold of the ball and complete the mark.
Nobody at full forward for Central just at the moment. Fraser jogging back there. There was a very big space. Spill and Robertson. Spill easily. Pake. It sits for him. Then handballs virtually to himself. Hewish came on for Zubranik, who's injured. Vivian straight to Pake. Intercepted by Krieg.
Very good take.
And a good kick around his body. Wilson couldn't handle it. Hutton has plenty of time. Left foot. Darrington takes the mark.
Beautifully done by Russell Hutton. He had a bit of a look then. He's put the ball into the centre of the ground for Sturt, and they've gone straight into attack through Darrington. But a good mark by Peter Bubner at centre half back. Ball carrying very strongly into half forward. Bubner to the outer side. Livesey in front of Wilson. He overruns the ball. Wilson takes possession, gives it to Barbary. He's only got to run on the line. He's decided to pass to Davies. Big fellow's completed the mark. 40 metres from goal, straight in front.
Mistake by Livesey there, Robert. Overrunning it, then falling over. Wilson good enough to get it to Barbary. Now Davies has created 2 goals as John Howard looks on. In this term, can he kick one himself? The Jumbo Prince. Drop punt. Strong. Not straight. It's a behind. 4-4-4-7. Sturt creeping up on Central.
So it'll be Jamie Thomas from fullback to bring the ball in. To the member stand side. Bubner in position. And he's paid the mark to the Sturt player who's looking underneath with Mark Heinrich. It was very well done actually. I thought Bubner had it. He put one hand on it, but Heinrich put 2. And stopped the ball dead, and he puts it straight into full forward. Davies from behind. Almost completes the mark, just gives it across to Filkey. And he's missed a sitter. Craig Filkey rubbing his head. 4-7 rather, are Central Districts, and Sturt a 4-4.
It'll be Bythene, just 2 points of difference. 8 minutes gone. Bythene will bring it back in eventually. Thomas came to this side, grandstand side, as Cousins is getting ready, but Bythene looks like he'll go to the eastern side. Rain has stopped. In fact, the ball looks a lot easier to handle in this quarter. Bythene gets some good distance with that. Spiel and Moore, body against body. Bohm and Thomas, and it'll be a ball up. Just 2 points of difference. This game was a sensation last year. Central led by 9 goals at one stage and got run over. Moore, Spiel won it. Filkey, Van Dommel with a left footer out of bounds on the full. Howard will bring it back in.
Brendan Howard from centre wing. Straight across to the centre half forward position. Off hands from Leonard. He held his ground well though in front of the pack. Fighting hard as Edwards. He gets the ball forward only as far as Hutton. Hutton's caught. Robertson now with an opportunity. He's a bit slow. Sims can't get his hands on it. Well done, Robertson. Finds Krieg. Vivian running up the wing with pace. Goes in low and fast. Only as far as Shane Hewish, who came onto the ground in the first quarter to replace Grant Zubranik.
Hewish with a high one. Into the centre. Spiel and Moore. Filkey. Good tackle by Moore. And now Krieg allowed to play on. Punches a drop punt. It won't get to Wilson. Hewish has taken the mark again. 15 metres against Wilbur.
See, Bruce, that's just not on. If a player does that, if you're an English soccer playing. You kick a bloke in the shins by accident, they pull out the card. In Australian footy, you'd get away with whatever you like.
Hewish, second kick within a minute towards centre half forward. Michael Graham, Philip Graham. Gave a dummy. Left-hand handball to Van Dommel. Caught him a little flat-footed. Moore. Now Hart and Hewish. Hart almost. Falls over though. Pake's there. It'll be a ball in. Hewish doing all right across half-back.
Tim Pake still got that bandage on his hand. Sturt a 4-5, Central a 4-7. Central now starting to get back into the game again. They had a lean period at the start of this quarter. Edwards, he's tackled, gets the ball away. Out of bounds off the boot of Terry Moore. Just noticing, Bruce, that Sturt have been penalised very severely for holding the ball. Very quick. Edwards then given all every time to get rid of it. Sturt have been given none up until now.
Leonard over the back. Barbary with a very quick handball away. Krieg and Hutton. And it's going to be a ball up. Centre wing. Van Dommel coming in a bit late and then gives Painter a shove.
They're both appealing for holding the ball, the two Sturt lads then, because they tackled and they've been penalised for holding the ball on every occasion. I just mentioned a moment ago.
Moore and Spiel. Mobbs uses his body well. Mark Heinrich playing a pretty good game. Hutton with a high one. Bowman Fry. Hart got in the road. Leonard trying to draw somebody to him, and then he goes towards Davies on a lead. Over the top. Thomas and Derrington. Leonard's kick has run all the way for a behind. It's a point the difference, 4-6 to 4-7. Moore off and Cousins on. As Derrington and Jamie Thomas just missed what happened in the first place. Derrington obviously not too happy.
So it'll be the ball to come back in from Peter Bything. He's taking his time. Of course, it's time off while all this is happening. We're into play again now. Now Spiel trying to spoil away from Cousins. Can't do so, but gives a free kick away from round the neck. Sturt players nonplussed somewhat by the umpiring. Well done, Frank Spiel. Ran on. It'll be a free kick for in the back. Richard Cousins, Peter Vivian. Vivian to half forward. Ball holding up at the end of its flight. Wilbur Wilson in front. 15-metre penalty against Sturt. The ball's just thrown away. Very careless play there. Wilson's going to play on. He's going to try at the ground, see if he can bounce it. Ball not carrying very far. Robertson over the top of Howard. Fraser. Connolly. Handball to Howard back into defence. Robertson's too good. And posts the score for Central Districts. Very good goal there to Jeff Robertson. Central Districts are now 5-7. Sturt 4-6.
Wilson got a 15-metre penalty when Barbary just threw the ball away carelessly. Wilson taking a bounce and kicking the ball towards half forward. Finally got to Fraser. There were a couple of very slow handballs there by Central District, but Robertson kept his balance. Howard fell over in the end, and Robertson cleverly kicked a goal, his second, and a handy one for the Dogs.
Andrew Zilm warming up, ready to come onto the ground. Spill knocking forward. Barbary can't take possession. Mobbs can, gets it onto the left boot. Holding ground with strength. Livesey to Bohm. Bohm's got Van Dommel on centre wing. To half forward. Edwards in front. Just handballs on Huey. Scoops the ball on towards Spiel. Spiel to Leonard. Leonard to Filkey. He's tackled. Ball being held to him. It's the first time that Sturt haven't been penalised for holding the ball. They're very grateful for it. So John Pater's coming off for a rest and Andrew Zill's on the ground. Spiel and Cousins. As Spiel hits it forward to Bubner. Bubner to centre half forward. Wilson's under the ball again with Reed. Well done, Wilbur. Beautiful control and balance, and also his reading of the ball. Darryl Hart.
Wonder if something's wrong with John Painter, Robert. He got a knock in that first quarter. I've got a feeling he may be injured. Hart short. Edwards. Good tackle there by Pate. Going without a Van Dommel. Now Pate. One bounce. The balance is enormous. Over the top to Heinrich. That's football at its best. Heinrich with a long one. Davies and Bytheen. Fry and Graham. It'll be a ball in. I think Van Dommel's come up to half forward. They've still got a loose man in defence. It might be Bubner. Central District. Hutton's very loose, and also Howard across the centre. I've got a feeling that Bubner might be loose at the moment in defence.
There's Daryl Hart down there also. Andrew Zulm on the ground for Sturt, number 33. Davies and Bytheen. Davies with his left-hander, Derrington. Derrington just getting it forward. Now it's picked up by Daryl Hart. Livesey. Played very well, Stephen Livesey. Hearn. Hart. Livesey. No, sorry, Hearn. Krieg past him. Robertson. Scoops up. Well done. Just taken at half forward by Hutton from the boot of Peter Krieg.
Russell Hutton. Return to league football today has been a good one. Spiel underneath it with Livesey. Livesey had a big first quarter. Did miss one goal. Krieg threw it away, but did it okay to Hart. To Van Dommel. Central District running it forward with handball. Krieg ran out of room. Hearn. High drop punt. Edwards and Hewish. Wilson coming in late. Sims. Hutton. Back to half forward. Cousins underneath it. That's a very good mark.
Peter Cousins. Playing on Richard Cousins. Look at Peter Cousins. He's somewhere else like West Torres. To half forward. Howard. He can't take, he and Pate both can't make up their mind who's going to go for the ball. Livesey. Robertson. And finally we see Connolly now with an opportunity. Makes every post a winner too as he punches it into full forward. And Wilber's there again. Making position beautifully. Reading the flight of the ball equally as well. And Wilbur Wilson takes the mark, 9 metres from the goal front. So he's got to kick at 12, and Central's are bolting.
What a great kick by Connolly, Robert. Fraser gave him a lead at centre half forward, but he punched the ball into the right place. Van Dommel in the hands of the trainer. Wilbur's missed it. Oh, no, he hasn't. I thought that missed. I'd love to have a look at that
else
again.
On the ground. And Sturt players can't believe it. The goal umpire signalled the goal. And Central Districts are now 6 goals 7. Sturt a 4 goals 6. Whether he kicked it or not, he should have kicked it anyway. It was a disgraceful miss. In fact, it was so bad a miss that the goal umpire couldn't make the ground to decide whether it was a goal or not. He just assumed that it must have been a goal because no player could possibly miss from that close.
Tim Evans did last year.
Yes, Wilbur managed it. Yeah, Tim was just as bad, wasn't he? Tried to kick the cover off the ball, but on this occasion, the umpire's in favour of the Central's player.
Cousins and Spiel, Central leading 6-7 to 4-6. Moggs, Hutton, left foot, Hearn and Filkey. Hearn's had some touches. Filkey keeps the pressure on. Hearn did it very well to Vivian. Central District playing well. Vivian back to centre half forward. Krieg underneath it, and he takes a fingertip.
Central District with an opportunity now, playing well into the breeze. Krieg to full forward, Downs, recovers quickly, well done. Falls underneath the player, should have been penalised for a trip. Instead of that, he gets a free kick for in the back as he took the player's feet. Downs to centre wing. Spiel in front, well done, Krieg. Chipped in, handballs it on quickly. Edwards with an opportunity, traps it well. Free kick for in the back, that's the second time Frank Spiel has pushed in the back this quarter. Was he pushed or did he fall?
Gee, Robert Krieg's playing a game in the centre. He's had 11 kicks and he's winning some hard balls.
Ball carrying too far. Russell Hutton reading the ball well. Good handball to Jim Derrington. Sturt with an opportunity now to Hewish. He bolts, runs straight to centre half forward. Michael Graham with an opportunity. Reads the ball equally as well as his fellow up in the opposition. A nice kick forward then to Rick Davies. The fellow in the opposition, of course, is Wilbur Wilson up the other end of the ground. Two Aboriginal boys playing very, very well and reading the ball.
Davies missed from probably a little further out than this earlier in the quarter. Sturt would like one now. Drop punt. That's straight. Davies has got his first and Sturt 5-6 to 6-7.
Well, that was a very good bit of play from half back then by Shane Hewish. He took hold of the ball, intercepted, ran it into the half forward line, and Michael Graham made a lot of yards across from the half forward flank to the centre half forward position to take that mark. And his kick was very deft indeed as he punched it forward low and strong to Rick Davies. And Rick Davies kicking straight, although I feel he miskicked the ball slightly, Bruce. He didn't get it to spin as well as he would have liked. 43 to 36. Almost 20 minutes gone in the second term.
Cousins taking a long run up to try and get over Big Frank. Didn't even get close, didn't get near it. Leonard. Zoom. Off the ground by Leonard. Filkey. Intercepted by Vivian. To Bone. Now Conley gives him someone to kick it to. And takes the mark. Conley centre wing. Runs around Howard. Then Wilson props in front of him. Heinrich. Edwards. Spiel also there. Krieg. And it's going to be a ball up in the centre square.
Frank Spiel go for the ruck. He'll be opposed by Richard Cousins. Cousins coming in from behind. Spiel lays it back to Edwards, to Cousins. Krieg, hole being held onto and kicks in danger. The umpire says he's been held onto first, so therefore he gets the free kick. Peter Krieg from the centre. Not a good kick. Wilbur's in front again. Looking for a short pass. Ball holding up, Hewish, high, can't complete the mark. Fraser just knocks it on, throws it in fact, and gets a free kick for over the shoulder. I don't know what the frees are, Bruce, but up here it does seem that the Central's boys are getting their fair share today.
12-9 at the moment.
Yes.
Now Fraser, Robert, this would take his absolute best. He's a very, very strong kick. It is an important one. Drop punt, looks okay off the boot, but he has missed, and I've got a feeling the crowd are letting the umpire at that end know that that was a behind. 6-8-5-6, I think they agree with that one.
Yes. Actually, he got the distance easily. Bruce, if he'd have kicked that off the left-hand post, should surely have been a goal. Spiel from the front, Krieg from B, straight away to Peter Krieg. Bit frustrating for the Sturt players. Lovely mark by Shane Hewish in defence. So it'll be Hewish now to relief for Sturt. Sturt needs some attack. They need it quickly. It's a long kick to centre wing. Frank Spiel gives it off to Leonard. Leonard trying to make a handball onto Derrington, which he does. Well done, Jim Derrington. Pushed in the middle of the back with two hands. The umpire's going to give an advantage free. I'm afraid, in my opinion, if that was after disposal, I'll go he. Like there was no way it was. They've got an advantage free. The umpiring, maybe Sturt now going to get a few luckies.
Michael Graham hasn't kicked a goal today. He's kicked 414 in his career. Make that 415. Splits the middle, Graham. Sturt 6-6, or is it 5-6? Central 6-8. No, it's 6-6 to 6-8.
The 6-6 to 6-8 is Michael Graham posted a good kick. It was an equally good pass, the one he passed to Rick Davies a moment ago. But a bit of luck, you see the umpiring plays such an important part. Like that free kick could have been taken back on the half-forward line with Jim Derrington was pushed in the back. Instead of that, the umpire awarded an advantage free kick.
Cousins and Spiel again in the centre. Cousins on his own. Van Dommel. And play on to Leonard. Davies. No mark.
Oh, there's in the back for sure.
And he's going to get it.
That was a foolish thing to do by Peter Bything. He kneed both knees into Rick's back, then just jumped on top of him when he hit the ground. That was absolutely foolish.
Davies tried to make a mark out of a half volley. The Central District had him skunned. They only had to stand over the top of him and put their hands on him.
It was pretty close, actually, Bruce, the mark. You know, he would just be touch and go, wouldn't it? Would have been an inch in it.
Moore comes on for Cousins. Now can Rick do it again? Oh, that's a floater. Miskicked it completely. A behind. Sturt within 1 point. So it's 6-7 to 6-8. They've never actually got in front in this term. They've got close a couple of times.
Rick Davies is dropping the ball badly. The last goal he kicked, Bruce, I mentioned that it was a bit of a missed kick, but he's dropping the ball to his foot too flat. He's not getting the ball on the point at all at the moment. Peter Bytheen deciding to come to the member stand side. Nice mark, Darryl Hart. In front position. Can't play on from the mark. He must come from behind the mark. On a free kick he would have been entitled to play on. The umpire wouldn't have penalised the side. So Darryl Hart to centre wing. Spiel from behind. Can't complete it. Connolly falling over to take possession. Krieg can't take it. Livesey coming in. It'll be a bounce down on centre wing.
44 to 43 at quarter time. Central led 4-7 to 1-3. So Sturt has kicked 5-4. Central 2-1 in this quarter. Conley did that well to Livesey. Reid and Wilson. Robertson off the ground. Sims onto him, then he just dropped Robertson.
Gosh, that was amazing.
Edwards to Hart. Hart ran back into trouble, then goes very wide. That's his 10th kick, and Connolly takes the mark.
What do you think Jeff Robertson was trying to do actually then, Bruce? He wasn't penalised, he should have been, but he just dropped that ball down in front of him. I think he just absolutely was nonplussed.
I think he might have just had a moment where he'd forgotten where he was. Edwards, Wilson got rid of it in a hurry. Mob stopped it in its tracks. Now can Vivian kick a goal? He can't. It'll be a kick in for Sturt.
Peter for me likes to get a bit of a run at it with his kick. He's not so good kicking off an unbalanced kick where he just has standing on one leg. So Sturt coming across the goal now to Brendan Howard. Howard coming to the centre wing. It's a lovely kick. Right out there, only a metre. 15-metre penalty should have been played. Heinrich gives it to Howard. Howard's going to start doing a bit of work. He's decided that Gregg's getting too many kicks. He's run 400 metres. Did it well though. He's found everything this time. Brendan Howard picked his game up. Realised he needed to too. Front of the goal square. Davies from behind, through his fingers. Leonard can't take possession. Beautiful handball by Davies. And Michael Graham trickles it. Goal. 7-7. Centrals 6-8.
The two champs together, Graham and Davies. What service they've given this club. Howard did that magnificently from the back pocket. He got the ball to the forward pocket to Derrington. Davies almost took the mark, got it back. Handball, Graham was fast enough and good enough, and his left foot kick went through and Sturt is in front.
Well, there's a big black cloud coming over Football Park at the moment. And I don't think it's Michael Graham that's the black cloud. He's a bit of a black cloud for Central, that's for certain. Could get another shower. Frank Spiel. Terry Moore taps it down on this occasion to Darryl Hart. Hart to full forward. Downs in front. Fraser. Off. Beautifully taken. Connolly. Another miss. He won't be too pleased with himself then, Stephen Connolly. Kicking across the goal. He's not aiming at that left-hand post from whence the breeze is coming. Centrals are now 6 goals, 9 according to me, to 7-7.
Down, straight down the centre. Van Dommel. Central just hasn't finished it off as well as Sturt. Graham. And Mobbs took a fly at him and couldn't stop him. Graham towards the pocket. Derrington takes a long leap at it. Boom. Stopped by Filkey. It'll be a ball up.
Craig Filkey's quieted down a little bit this term, Bruce. He played a magnificent first quarter into the breeze. He read the ball very, very well. A bit quieter this term. Maybe they haven't gone to attack as much, Sturt.
Davies and Bythene. Barbary, as the rain tumbles down now. Graham took off early and dumped the ball to the boundary line, and it will be a ball in.
The people listening don't, of course, realise that we have a director, and he's telling us it's raining, Bruce, and he's downstairs in a lovely, warm little room down there.
He's obviously got a leak in the top somewhere. It's Davies and Bythene. I bet she's not getting wet. Bubner over the back. Thomas couldn't take it. Zoom barged his way clear. Now Bohm. Moore couldn't quite get down to it. High tackle on Filkey and he'll get a free kick.
He went for that well, Craig Filkey. Worked hard back to half forward. He followed the ball out. Perhaps got into the forward line a little bit too far. Normally a magnificent kick.
Siren will go fairly shortly too, Robert. About another minute, I'd think, at the most.
He's dropped it crooked, but he's kicked it straight. So Craig Filkey scores for Sturt. They're 8-7, leading Central Districts 6 goals, 9. That was a very good recovery then by Filkey back to that half forward line. He worked hard to get that ball. A little bit forced it to get the free kick in some respects. And all of the Central player a little bit forced. He went down for the ball and he just got a scrape across the neck. Darryl Hicks pondering for his half-time speech.
10 points of difference. Central did a very good job in the middle stages of this term. Livesey. Finally the handball to Moore. Left foot. Fraser on a lead. To Hart. The percentage play of Central District's not as good as Sturt. Edwards. Left foot's very good. It's close. It's hit the post.
That's the place to aim, Bruce. What a fantastic kick. Sheer bad luck for young Edwards then.
6-10, 8-7. Goal there would have been very handy indeed before half-time. Sturt is going to go in with about a 9-point lead. Downs to the centre square. Big Frank Spill and Moore into his back.
Moore stands with both hands in the air. What did I do, he says. In some respects, I think The umpire was full. I think Frank Spill ran underneath that ball, Bruce. He misread it very, very badly. He kicks it 50 to 60 metres. Fry went to spoil it. Clean missed it. And Philip Graham from half back. Short kick. Heinrich high. Livesey spoils him though. Krieg, like a seagull, swoops in to Connolly. Connolly loves to take off quickly. It's a lovely placed kick. Well read by Andrew Downs.
Fraser's going crook, Robert, but he's running to the wrong spot.
Yes, ran him off leg. He had no hope of getting the ball. Downs with a bit of luck. Ball bouncing just inside the boundary line. It's out of bounds at the 30-minute mark of the second quarter.
Siren will go any moment. Robertson and Sims. Sims over the back. Van Dommel caught with it. Still caught with it. Now it'll be holding the ball. As it goes. 8-7 Sturt at half-time. Central District, 6 goals, 10.
Attention please, with the foul of 5-year-old.
District 6-10, Sturt 8-7. The Dogs kicking with the breeze. Spill with a tap. Livesey. Ball up. We had a lot of rain at half-time. Conditions be a bit heavy just to start this second half. Central need a quick start. Sturt has managed to dominate both quarters for the first 10 minutes. Derrington. Breeze getting hold of it. Filke, who had a very good first half. Bything. Now Wilson.
So they've got to kick it straight, Bruce.
It's going to just miss. Wilson with the behind, and it's 8-8 to 6-10. Sturt have been out of the blocks very quickly in both first, second, and now the third quarter.
Peter Bything to the centre of the ground. Ball flying on. Terry Moore propping in front of Frank Spill, so Frank Spill grabs him and gives a free kick away. His teammates wouldn't be too impressed about that. Not a good kick by Moore. Wilson's in there again. He falls over. Scrambling forward. A bit unfortunate, but he hasn't lost it yet. Vivian working hard. He can't take possession. Ground very difficult at the moment. Vivian just chipping it across towards Dean Mobbs. He sinks the slipper into the centre half forward. And they're coming across to complete the mark, Stephen Livesey. Livesey going forward. Body out there. That was body was within 5 metres. I'll go he. And Robert Fraser scores 4 full points for Centrals. They are now 7-10, Sturt 8-8.
That short pass of Vivian's, Mobbs did very, very well because I'm sure he wasn't expecting it. Kicked the ball off the ground. It was as good as a kick. Livesey made position, took the mark, saw Fraser on a lead. Fraser gave Downs the heave-ho, kept his balance, and then kicked the left foot goal. So Fraser has kicked 2-2, and there's 4 points of difference.
Frank Spill and Terry Moore. A very interesting duel this afternoon. Two big fellows. Moore's done very well as I've seen him do since he's been back in Adelaide. Ball skidding past Tim Pate. Edwards coming out to meet it. The head of Hewish. Flies out of bounds in the forward line for Central Districts. Right in front of the scoreboard. Stephen Connolly moving in, but I think it'll be Sims to go for this boundary throw in with Jeff Robertson. Robertson lays it back to Connolly. Connolly gets it on quickly. Hewish takes a very nice take. But his kick is nowhere near as good. Krieg to full forward. Downs from behind. Wilbur grabbed by the Guernsey. And a free kick will be played for a too high tackle on Wilbur Wilson.
Wilson had a good second quarter into the breeze, did some good things. He kicked a controversial goal in that second term. It looked like a point from here. He's not quite so close this time. He was within the goal square on that occasion. Wilson from about 30 metres out. Drop punt. Goal. 2 to Wilson, and Central District in front, and that's just what they wanted, a quick start. 8-10 to 8-8.
Yes, Wilbur Wilson causing a little bit of concern up in that forward line for Sturt. He's got great judgment of the ball. He creates opportunities by leading to the space. If the ball comes in with a flyer quickly, he's able to get underneath it, and he's always in the event for some sort of a happening.
Moore and Spill. Neither player really getting their hand on it. Mobbs tapped it straight to Leonard. Howard, Hutton is forced to kick quickly. Filke and Hearn. Hearn keeps it in play. Vivian makes a path for him. Wilson stopped him in his tracks and did that very, very well and gave it to Filkey.
Spiel off the ground to Derrington. Filkey running on again. Long, strong kick. Davies from behind. Can't take it. Fry handballs it back towards Graham. Central's player then knocking it off. Davies picking it up. Barbary can't take possession. Philip Graham coming in quickly. There's a no contest right in front of the goal. Jeff Robertson having just come off the ground. And he'll be replaced by Brendan Maguire. Maguire came on during the earlier part of the game into the back pocket to replace Jamie Thomas.
Davies, Bowen, Philip Graham, long handball. Jamie Thomas has got a lot of time. He went without it. Then his handball set Bowen up a bit, but Bowen's left foot around the body. Mark Heinrich stood his ground well. Fry, oh gee, didn't know what to do. Oh, but sold out there.
Bad handball though, Bruce, set him up completely.
For sure. Bubner with a long one. Sims at the back. Downs and Conley. Downs not running all that freely. Conley beat him to it. Then to Fraser. Fraser in trouble. Howard's got him. Dropped the ball onto his boot. Wilson will get it.
Got some pace, Wilbur. A lot of people think he doesn't have pace. Just to watch him then, he went for that ball and then he accelerated incredibly quickly. Jeff Robertson departing the scene for a moment. Looks like he's got a bit of ankle trouble. But Wilbur Wilson, tremendous acceleration to that ball. 40 metres. Goal. Beautiful kick by Wilbur. It's his second in the last few minutes. Central District's really back into business now. They're 9-10, Sturt 8-8.
Magnificent mark by Wilson. Fraser with one hand throwing the ball onto his boot. He finally got his boot to it and Wilson made it. And then gold, and Wilbur's kicked 199 goals in league football. The next one will be his 200th.
Frank Spiel and Terry Moore. Terry Moore played a lot better than today. Spiel, Derrington, Krieg. Had a lot of kicks in the centre. Pake dropping back. He's had a very quiet day. Ball spoiled away from him with two roundhouse rights. The second one finally hit the ball. Handballed forward by Edwards. Hart coming in with the leg for a goal. Well done, Darryl Hart. Well done, Gary Edwards. What's the young Edwards' first name? Grant, that's right. Well done as he gave it across then to Darryl Hart. 10-10 to 8-8. Central's on a bit of a run at the moment.
They've kicked 4 goals in 6 minutes, Central District. Hart's had a lot of kicks in this game, but he finally really finished one off. And Hart today's kicked 2 goals, 1. And the Dogs have got a run on here, and Sturt must stop it quickly.
Spiel and Moore. Central's maintain this run, give themselves a bit of a lead. Moore beautifully to Hart. Hart into the space. Wilson accelerating the ball, can't take it. Beautifully done by Hutton. Downs now to the centre wing. He's found a bit of space there too. The ball will skid ahead of Terry Moore. Finally gets it under control. Zilm, Filkey, Graham now. Fry, no, he handballs into the man, he's missed him. Central saved the day and clear through Maguire.
Livesey, left foot. Bubner playing in the forward line now that Robertson's gone off. Fraser got a high tackle and will get a free kick.
And played on, Bruce. He's a bit stiff. He's a bit lucky, actually. He played on from behind the mark then. If he'd have broken clear, the umpire would have, of course, allowed him to go. Instead of that, he's got a 15-metre penalty and an opportunity with a leg like his from 40 to 45 metres.
Wilson goal from maybe a little closer in, about 3 minutes ago. Fraser getting some kicks, has kicked 2-2. Left foot, missed it. That's a very poor attempt. It's out of bounds on the full.
Wind coming down the ground, Bruce, running the ball away. He obviously should have kicked a bit more into the centre of the goal square and let the wind take it into the goal. I think he aimed for the goal rather than aim for the spot just out in front and let the wind do the work for him.
It's an important period for Central, Robert, because they've got the ball. They must convert now. They can kick away with the opportunities they're getting, then Sturt is going to have some trouble.
Because Sturt have got to come home, and they'll be a bit tired coming home, having defended for 2 quarters. Ball just fisted forward. Shane Hewish elected not to take possession on that occasion, is grabbed and receives a free kick. Frank Spiel calling for the ball to be given on quickly. Goes fairly wide with the kick. Coming from behind, Stephen Bohm, picked up by Robertson. Edwards, the handball now, across to Bohm. He goes with his left foot to the centre of the ground. Or the centre half forward, should I say. The Central Districts players running into that space. The ball taken there for Centrals by Fraser. Connolly. Vivian. Krieg. All he's got to do is kick it straight, I say. Eddie Fry back in defence at the moment. Picked up very, very well by Hart. His left foot's not so good. Sims bodying out, fighting for the ball right in front of the square. And there'll be a bounce down. Central's 10-10, Sturt 8-8.
Central's percentage play not good, Robert. They had that ball 4 or 5 times and really should have converted. Sims did that beautifully to Barbary.
They didn't attack the goal, did they, Bruce, with any real purpose?
That's for sure. Moore, Livesey went without it, then off the ground by Leonard. Very good pick up by Mark Heinrich. Leonard again off the ground. Krieg has had a lot of kicks.
They could take the centre half forward, Bruce.
Yes, and Fry's into defence. So Sturt having some problems. Van Dommel, will it sit? Across to Edwards. Edwards sold the dummy. Then a drop punt will go through for a goal. Edwards has kicked his first goal in league football in Adelaide, and Central District 11-10 to 8-8.
That was certainly very well done by Edwards then. Faked the handball and then just steadied himself and ran straight at the face of the goal, and his drop punt was accurate. And Central District's rebounding from that half-back line very well then. They came through the centre of the ground with accuracy, and their teamwork at the moment is very good. And if they can just extend this lead to 5 goals at 3/4 time, Bruce, I'd say they're in with a very, very good chance to cause an upset here this afternoon.
Well, in 10 minutes, Central has kicked 5 goals. I don't think Daryl Hicks could have hoped for that at half-time. Moore gave it to Van Dommel, back to Van Dommel, to Krieg. Bubner was standing flat-footed. Wilson, that's an important ball. Looked a high tackle, but it's allowed to play on. Mobbs will kick it close. It's a behind. Oh, if that had gone through, the Sturt fans wouldn't have been too happy. 11-11 to 8-8.
Ray Wilson stopped then, believing he was going to get a free kick for around the neck when the tackle came, so the umpire just gave him holding the ball. Andrew Downs. Out of side. Spiel in front. Spoiled away by Moore. Connolly, he can't take it. Barbary hasn't done much this afternoon. Well done, Livesey. He's certainly done plenty. Had a very good game. Comes across to Van Dommel. On quickly. Edwards with another opportunity. Spiel doesn't put a tackle on him. No more can Howard. Finally goes wide out to the outer side. Connolly. Goal square with the kick. Fading now into the pocket. Downs out of bounds on the full.
Robert, Central got themselves into that pocket there. Had they gone straight down the centre, what a different result it might have been.
Edwards panicked a little bit that time when he, on the second tackle, Bruce. Downs has kicked short. Eddie Fry now up to half back. Had a great season there last year. Goes short to Michael Graham. Out of bounds on the full.
Livesey to centre half forward. Bubner on a lead. Sims at the back. Beats both of them. Howard couldn't take it. Barbary. Mobbs didn't quite get him. Heinrich. It bounces and it'll be a ball in. That's the dead side at the moment, Robert. That's where I suppose Sturt want to keep it when Centrals are in attack.
So I think Sturt are going to need to get up that side fairly quickly and see if they can get a goal for themselves. They had 4 players around the ball then, but their skill of hand is not good enough. Spill just taps it to Moore, his opponent. Moore high into the pocket. Hewish under the ball. Very well judged mark.
Playing well, Robert Hewish.
Not bad, although Edwards is doing a bit up in that pocket. Fairly tall, Shane Hewish. Played centre half back in the final last year. Terry Moore, very good mark. You can see now why Central Districts are playing Terry Moore in preference to Richard Cousins.
With a high one, Bubner's underneath it. Sims, oh, that's a good mark. Sims over the back. Doesn't take many marks these days, Trevor Sims. Is more the negative type of player, but that was a very good one under pressure. Then with a drop punt, Graham at the back.
Fantastic kick, Bruce.
Livesey just ran him out.
The umpire didn't pay the mark either.
Free kick will go to Terry Moore. Creek breaking away. This is the best game Terry Moore's played for a long time.
So that was penalising the side.
So Moore from the centre wing. This is his 10th kick. He's done a good job on Frank Spiel, and that's a long one. Sims underneath it and Downs. Downs couldn't quite take it. Wilson and Reid, and again a ball in. That breeze is worth some metres at the moment, Robert. That ball covering 60 to 70 metres.
Andrew Downs trying to take that mark in his hands then, instead of taking it on the body. Sims coming in opposition to Bubner. Ball flies over the back. Reid dives on top of it first, but Wilson tried to also. Michael Graham handballing it over his shoulder to Fry. Eddie Fry now breaking clear with a little bit of movement. Michael Graham also moving well. Sturt have got to get the ball to run. There's loose men up here, and that's why they're hanging on to it. Shane Hewish now coming in. They're one-on-one. Jeff Leonard in front. He can't take possession. Livesey gets it off hands.
Livesey still with it. Had a big game. Howard's underneath it. He takes the mark. Livesey having nobody really to kick it to, and he waited and waited and waited. Howard short. Graham's got it. Howard's played his game in patches today. Very, very good early. Then good late in the second quarter. Graham with a drop punt. Spiel. Pake. Can he give Sturt something at centre half forward? Hearn. Moore again. Van Dommel couldn't take it. Neither could Derrington. Van Dommel got it back to Krieg. Oh, Howard did that well. He propped in front of Krieg, but Krieg got it to Hart, and Hart's got Wilson on a lead. Spoiled by Reid was good.
Yeah, that's good footy. Ray Wilson coming back into defence to lend a hand. Vivian with a bit of dash. Reid and Wilson both after him. Wilson bringing up the rear, hoping that he can get it back to him. And he does. Wilbur Wilson now from centre wing. Centre half forward. Sims under the ball for Sturt. Bubner. Off hands to Fry. Fry relieving temporarily to Hutton. Hutton to Howard. Howard getting back in defence to lend a hand. His kick carrying to Michael Graham. That's an excellent kick. Player won't let him go. Michael Graham most upset. The umpire couldn't care less if he was hanging on. Okay, 15 metres early in the game, Bruce. But a great rate of knots. Anyone that even looked as though they were going to hang on for too long. The kick's not good. It is good. I thought it was out of bounds on the full. And Jim Derrington takes the mark at centre wing.
Drop punt. Maguire's underneath it. He takes the mark. Maguire, who's been used as an interchange player on the ground with Robertson being injured, towards half forward. Bubner and Sims. Sims is playing a good game back there. Fry to Hutton. Fry looks a lot happier at half back. Now Hutton's kick has given Vivian again a race with it with Hearn and Filkey. Hearn won it. Then around his body, Wilson, bounce beat him. Reid, Hutton, Howard. Howard's playing a very good third quarter, just laid it off to Wilson. Wilson punches it to Davies and Bytheen. Davies didn't fall over, then he didn't thump it forward towards Maguire. And Maguire shouldn't panic, he's got plenty of time. Wilson's underneath it. Well, Mobbs just put him off enough and did it pretty well.
If that's not in the back, I'll go he. Moore just pushes Howard out of the road and allows Mobbs to run through again, and Central's off with another chance. Van Dommel to Bubner. He can't take possession. Michael Graham to Derrington. Got plenty of time up here in the centre. Long kick too into that breeze. Underneath it, Zilm, and he's taken the mark. Put his body in front of Brendan Maguire. Dropped the ball onto his chest. It's a tough kick though. And Andrew Zilm hasn't had many of those today, having spent most of the time on the interchange bench. But this is an important kick for Sturt. He's punched it strongly and accurately. Well done, Zilm. It's a magnificent kick. 9-8 Sturt, Central's 11-11.
Sturt getting one against the run of play. Van Dommel's handball. Bubner couldn't take it, and Graham, who's been lurking around that centre position and the centre wing and getting some touches, was able to make the most of it. Derrington punched the ball hard and high into the breeze. He got a bit of distance, and Zilm took a very good mark.
Sturt starting to get somewhat of an ascendancy across centre, something they haven't had for most of the game. The bounce favours Cousins. Howard trying to get his hands on the ball. Creed coming through quickly. Filkey, magnificent to Howard. Howard to Derrington. Derrington tries to get on the boot. Edwards has nobbled the ball. Maguire, Livesey with another opportunity. Filkey after him, but he won't catch him. Into the centre half forward. Well done, Fry. Move back from the centre quickly. It's a bad kick, though, by Central Districts. Eddie Fry loves the game in front of him. Plays on quickly to Filkey. Filkey tries to evade, then miskills the handball with the slippery ball. Fry working for the ball. The umpire's going to bounce it.
Centre wing, 77 to 62. Cousins and Spiel, Moore having a rest. Frank doesn't get one. Quick kick by Livesey. Fraser, who didn't do that all that well, tried to take it one-handed. Fry's handball not too good. Now Edwards with a drop punt. Hutton's underneath it. Went through his fingers.
And it's slippery, Bruce, that ball.
Wilson fell over. Graham's there, also on the bottom of the pack, Hewish and Hart. Ball up centre half full.
Well, Russell Hutton's pretty strong, and that ball hit him in the hands and it went straight through with the power. Spiel coming in with Cousins. Cousins takes the ball. Snaps for the goal. Out of bounds on the full. It's on the attacking side of the ground, if there's such a thing. I think it's straight down at the moment, Bruce. It seems as though the wind is not favouring either side particularly. Just straight down the ground as Downs comes into the member stand half back flank for Sturt. Barbary round his body. Could have straightened up. Instead of that, tries to do a lair kick. Got the lair result. Out of bounds on the full.
Derrington off. Zubernick's okay. He's going to come back on. And Vivian from the centre wing goes towards Michael Graham or Sims.
Did he think that umpire had a Central Districts outfit on it? I thought it was a Central Districts player too, at first.
Graham punches a drop punt. Hutton takes the mark. Mark Heinrich, sorry. Left foot. Zubernick and Jamie Thomas. Zubernick has just come onto the ground to Filkey. To Zeal. Davies. Handball wasn't good. Bytheen. Bowen. Left foot in a hurry. Van Dommel couldn't control it. I think the difference at the moment, Robert, even though Central is in front, is the surety with the ball. Central District having a lot more of the ball today, but they haven't finished it off nearly as well as Sturt.
No, they're not running at the goal and trying to get the kick over the line as quickly. Ball over the back. Heinrich can't take position. Well done, Cousins. Gives it across there to Edwards.
Mobbs, Rob.
Mobbs. Robertson, Connolly couldn't take the mark. Wilson, well done. Michael Graham's held onto by Wilson. No free kick though. Umpire allowing the game to go on. There'll be a bounce down just slightly towards centre half forward for Central Districts.
Didn't Michael Graham do that well? Wilson was expecting him to tackle it. That's why he handballed it, and Graham didn't put a hand on him.
Oh, beautiful tap to Barbary. Can't get the ball away. Drags it back in underneath himself. Another bounce down. So it'll be Frank Spiel again. Richard Cousins. Fry coming in, just knocks it forward to Krieg. Not a very good thinking, I wouldn't think. Downs hits his feet, luckily for him. Fraser battling hard up there, or was it Bubner? Central District player with the ball underneath him. There'll be a bounce down in the forward pocket.
Maguire's in the full forward area at the moment for Central. So Hicks making some changes. Sims against Conley. Barbary. Graham went without it. Hart and Fry. Reed with a very quick kick away.
Barbary hasn't moved since he hit that ball out, Bruce.
Yes, Barbary in some trouble, and it'll be a ball in. Sturt runner coming out, or Sturt trainers coming out quickly to have a look at Craig Barbary.
Zubernick realising the plight straight away, coming up onto the ball from the half-forward line. With Barbary down, it'll be Spiel and Cousins. Spiel just knocking it forward, and Zubernick's there to take possession. He's got no one to give it to. Tosses it away. Sims just coming in with his body. Holds the ball in the area, gives Sturt another chance to recover. Barbary on his feet. It'll be a bounce down.
Cousins and Spiel. Mobbs and Vivian. Vivian trapped it well. He's had a good game to Mobbs. Wilson out of bounds. Correct decision. 77 to 62. Sturt with Painter off the ground after quarter time with an injury, I'd suspect. And Zubernick still not 100% back on. It's Cousins and Spiel. Spiel laid it down towards Fry. Conley fell over. No free kick. Fry's got hold of him. Barbary on the bottom of the pack, and again a ball up. So Sturt has really done well, Robert, in the fact that it stopped Central's run. I suppose the next 5 minutes will tell the tale of this third term. If the Dogs could get another one or two, it would be handy.
So the umpire, they're not doing anything now. That was holding the ball in the first half. It's amazing how the game starts. The umpire just bouncing the ball all the time. Now he stopped the whole flow of the game by not awarding a free kick at all. Spiel knocks it out of Eddie Fry's arms, very well indeed. He's just trying to explain to Eddie something, I don't know what. Perhaps he couldn't see him. Spiel and Cousins. Centre wing, members side. Well done Sims, he gets the ball on quickly, couldn't get a boot, just laid off by Filkey to Fry, and he hasn't got the reflex to take it. Out of bounds. Sturt just forcing it forward slowly. Eddie Fry's really giving them a lift in that half-back line, Bruce, since he's gone there. Had a lot of touches.
That's for sure. Spiel and Cousins. Free kick to Cousins.
Cousins just backing back into Spiel. Both arms out. Spiel's got to hold his arms up in the air and not push him in the back.
Richard Cousins has had a bit of a lift since he's come on in this term. He's not at all that good a kick. Graham was interfered with by Wilson, and Fry took the mark. Darryl Hicks looking on from the ground. Fry's played very well, as Robert said, since he's been at half-back. He no doubt will stay there when Peter Motley comes back from the state game next week.
I think they played him at half-back last week. They named him at centre-half forward, and then he played at half-back against Woodville.
And played very well, apparently, in that position. So it's Cousins again against Spiel. Hicks had loved one before three-quarter time. Edwards went without it. Thomas. Michael Graham's had a good third quarter, and Sturt just keeping possession. Very cold at the moment at Football Park. 11-11, 9-8.
It sure is, Bruce. Throw in. Krieg, he's had a few touches, gets the ball away to Fry again. Just taps it back, well picked up by Cousins. Hutton, ducks underneath, umpire calls play on. Wilson. Pay, he hasn't had much to do since he's gone to half forward. Bubner coming through from half back strongly. Graham can't pick it up. Oh, well done, Wilson. Pake's flattened. Knocked off the ground to Krieg. Bubner. He's very competitive at the moment. There's mostly Sturt people and they've yelled out holding the ball long enough. I think the umpire's relented, Bruce.
Robert, Peter Bubner's had a very ordinary game today.
Yeah, he hasn't
played well.
Killed Eddie Fry, though.
Barbary with a high one. Allowed to play on and now holding the ball.
Yeah, he beat Eddie Fry, but they're very competitive up at half forward at the moment. Sturt, they've really lifted. They don't want to lose this game.
Zoom to the pocket. Over Davies' head. Philip Graham. I think a few of the Central players are a bit tired, and it's going to be a ball in. 11-11, 9-8.
Davies picked him up. All Rick did then was pick him up. He didn't hurt him. Then Philip Graham, when he let him go, Philip Graham just dropped down again.
I suppose if you're dangling in the air, you're likely to do that. Davies and Bytheen, Philip Graham. Oh, Filkey snatched it beautifully. Falling over Hearn. Not Hearn, Hart. Filkey comes back to centre half forward. That's a very dangerous kick if it doesn't come off.
Went too far, Bruce. He was looking for Michael Graham, who's got possession now, or nearly had possession, should I say. Baum coming through. Wilson gives it off quickly back towards Graham. Vivian's be set upon. Well done, Mobbs. Mobbs tapping the ball on. And kicked forward by Connolly to half forward. Over Sims' head. Reed in front of Wilson on this time. But there's Wilson's acceleration again. But Howard, what a beautiful take to Zubranic. But tapped out of bounds by Connolly on the centre wing. 11-11 Centrals, 9-8 to Sturt in what's been a very, very competitive third quarter.
It's Cousins against Spiel. Central has kicked 5-1. Sturt has kicked 1-1. And it's three-quarter time at Football Park. 11-11 Central, 9-8 Sturt.
Started the last quarter at Football Park. Centrals are 11-11, Sturt at 9-8. The players need miners' helmets to be able to see the ball. The light's not around the outside. Perhaps we can make special application for lights during the day. Most people are awake then. Be a stalemate straight away. It's going to be a very competitive last quarter. Central scored 5 goals in the first 10 minutes of the third, then didn't score again. And now can Sturt come back after a very willing last 20 minutes of that third quarter, and they fought back into the game. And Central Districts go into attack to half forward. Eddie Fry, who has moved to half back, has played very well back there. Holding on. Player holding on too long. The ball flew out of Eddie Fry's hands, and Stephen Connolly hanging on to him for too long a time after that has been penalised for holding the man.
Screw punt, didn't get onto it. Filkey almost.
He looks like he's praying, Bruce, for the second one.
Hearn was in there. Krieg was set upon. Leonard, Howard played the defensive role very well, and then a very long handball to Pake. Pake's had a quiet one today, over the top to Barbary. Now will it sit? Graham runs into the boundary line. Barbary runs around him. Left foot, Michael Graham's underneath it. Bubner in late. Bytheen missed it as it starts to pour. Thomas, and out of bounds. I'd say John Howard would have loved that rain to stay away for about another 10 minutes, Robert.
Yes, Barbary did that very well, and he got a bad bounce, recovered it, then put the ball back in front of the square to try to give Michael Graham an opportunity, but he wasn't able to take. Good play by the Central's defence. Bytheen, well done. Quickly onto the boot, to half back. Derrington. Krieg coming across quickly. Howard hit him in the head. That was a tough handball to take. Derrington again. Another quick handball to Hutton. He couldn't take it. Leonard. He's disposed. Hart. Livesey played a beautiful game. Player went to bump him instead of tackling him, and he drew back, was hit in the head, and receives the free kick.
Stephen Livesey. Floater, that breeze is very strong. Mark Heinrich, that was a tough mark to take it. He couldn't quite do it. Maguire, Howard, Wilson, Reid and Mobbs. Reid's got it to Howard. Howard with a controlled kick to Mark Heinrich. Drop punt. Pake underneath it. Van Dommel, who's playing the loose man in defence as he did in the second term. He should have punched that kick a little more. Livesey, geez, had a big game, and that's a very good kick. Maguire, Eddie Fry off his thigh, and it'll be a ball in. Livesey's had 16 kicks and 8 handballs.
Very good game on centre wing too. 11-11 Centrals, 9-8 to Sturt. Spiel just lays it forward to Derrington. Derrington can't get the ball past Hart, and he goes into the centre half forward position. Off hands from Reid. Vivian fighting for it. Howard, who's played a great game since about halfway through the third quarter. Up until that stage, Peter Krieg on top in the centre. Howard with a couple of spasmodic efforts, but he's really into the thick of things at the moment.
Spill and more. Frank hasn't had a spell all day. Conley tried to barge his way through. Wilson caught. Mobbs. Sims stays with him. Now Conley. A pretty good kick, Conley. That's a great kick around his body, and Downs takes a saving mark.
A great mark, Bruce. And a great kick too by Stephen Connolly. Andrew Downs from fullback, favouring the centre of the ground. Moore with one hand. Krieg diving on top. Howard's got it off him again. He's playing like a rocket at the moment, the young fellow. Whoops, slips. Out to the wing. Connolly again, recovered beautifully. Punches it again, only to see Downs for the second time take the mark.
Downs from fullback with a drop punt. Fries underneath it. Krieg did that very well. Long handball. Now Conley, will it sit? He breaks the tackle. Hutton's got him though. Reid. Wilson runs in towards the boundary line. Leonard, oh, very good pick up, then pushed from the back.
Should have handballed it on though very quickly.
As he had Fry running.
Jeff Leonard's got to do a bit more work. He's been standing in the centre of the ground with his hands on his hips for about 5 minutes this quarter. Got Sims dropping down for him. Sims gives it back, and it's blocked well by Maguire. Sims is penalised for holding the man. So Brendan Maguire now from half forward, going in towards Fraser. Gee, that ball's travelling hard and fast. Connolly doing a good job on the flank. He was nearly out of bounds before he kicked it, Bruce.
He should have just kept running one more stride and he would have no problems at all. Gee, Robert, the players are tired, and you'd expect them to be. It's been played under heavy conditions with rain and into a strong breeze, especially Sturt for 2 quarters. And at the moment, It's a stalemate situation, which would suit Daryl Hicks.
It's a very competitive situation. 2 goals in front's a good lead for the Bulldogs. Creek's had an airy. Derrington, Sturt trying to keep the ball to run. Heinrich, He's had a bad day. He can't get hold of the ball with any confidence at all. Bowen, beautiful leg strength. Almost kicks it towards the Sturt goal. But Jamie Thomas saves the day.
From full-back, Thomas went off at quarter time with an injury. I don't think I've seen it so dark at Football Park so early for a long time. Towards the centre wing, because you won't notice it on your screen. Maltz punches a left footer. Maguire couldn't quite make it. And again a ball in. Sims and Spiel will be there for Sturt. No score, 6 minutes gone.
Daryl Hart can hardly lift his feet up, Bruce. He's just getting up there.
It's just got to keep going for another 20 minutes.
He'll pick him up when the ball comes, though, I've got no doubt. Frank Spiel with a panic, Bruce. His ball skills leave a lot to be desired, Frank Spiel. His knock rucking's unquestionable. And his ball skills, very questionable. Maguire. Reed attacking quickly. Hewish traps the ball. He can't complete it. Edwards. Hart. Steadies. Right in front of the goal this time. Downs and Fraser. Flies off hands and skids out of bounds. Across the face of the goal. 11-11 Centrals. Sturt 9-8.
19 kicks to Hart. If Central could kick a goal here, Robert, it might be a winning break. Sims and Wilson, Maguire, ball up.
Wilson went for that boundary throw and then he just ran straight into the Sturt player. If the two big fellows had done that, one of them would have been penalised for sure.
Zubrnik and Painter both warming up. Again Wilson. Hart. Left foot was smothered by Derrington. Edwards. Hutton's there to Howard. Howard tough a high one. Lucky break for Central. Now as Hart got the run. Left foot, he kept his head. Maguire. It's Connolly rather. Left foot has gone through. That's a goal to Connolly. And that's the one that Central District wanted. Connolly's got his first. And the Dogs are 12-11 to 9-8.
It was very well done. Howard played brilliantly in the centre of the ground against 3 fellows. He shrugged 2 of them off, then banged the ball on, and all the Sturt team were running down the ground. Central's got a rebound off a foot and a magnificent disposal up to the forward line. Was that Daryl Hart did that, Bruce? Excellent football. Had a look and set the play up for Connolly, and he didn't let him down.
Very dark here at Football Park. Spiel, Moore's played a great game. Heinrich. Zubrnik's on for Sturt. Left foot by Krieg as far as Howard only. Howard had an area with a handball. Hearn with a quick kick.
They're trying to handball Sturt. I think they'd be better off to get the ball in with their kick at the moment. I don't know why they're doing that. Brendan Howard then played it beautifully till it came to the kick, and Centrals are into attack again. And Zubrnik, fresh on the ground, saves the bacon at the half-back line. So it's Grant Zubrnik to the centre. Spiel, off hands, flies forward. Graham, Pake, he's got the pace. He attacks the goal with strength. It's a goal. If it hits the ground, it's hit the post. Gee, Sturt needed a bit of luck. They didn't get it. Central's did. 9-9 Sturt. Central 12-11.
See the value of the breeze there. Pate with a long one and did it skid. Bytheen, Moore and Spiel. Gee, Moore's played a game today. Back to him. He scooped it up. Krieg. Hearn. This rain is pelting down and the breeze is right behind Sturt. Livesey gives away a free kick.
I think she's going to be in the Sturt forward line for the rest of the quarter, Bruce. That wind is really whipping up now. Very strong indeed. Mark Heinrich. Davies. Couldn't keep it in there. Gives the handball off. Zilm didn't take it. Pake's blocked it. Zilm can't pick it up. Bytheen. Leonard. Or was it Barbary?
No, Leonard. Bubner.
Central's now rebounding through Bohm, and Spill has marked the ball. Be the first one he's taken for the day with it, Bruce. I can't remember many others.
Second mark, Robert. Our statistician Lincoln tells me. It's a long way out. Drop punt. Davey sets himself. Thumped away by Bytheen. Sturt 9-10. Central 12-11. It's a good lead, Robert. We've been playing almost 10 minutes. It's not going to be a long quarter, I wouldn't think.
No, it's a very good lead. Bything just goes short. Jamie Thomas.
I thought he was off, Robert.
He didn't move. The umpire didn't call play on. If the umpire doesn't call play on, it's not play on. Doesn't matter what the player thinks he was going to play on. A kick not carrying far at all. Heinrich in front. Comes off his hands to Livesey. Livesey goes for the umpire and Connolly behind the umpire. Wilson coming in quickly. He's played a beautiful last half. Panics a little bit there on the take. Leaves the ball behind after a good interception. The umpire will bounce at centre field.
Moore and Spiel. Bounce favoured Moore. Connolly's had a very good last quarter. Fell on top of it. Zubrnik claims him, and it's holding the ball.
That was a very good decision then, because he waited and Zubrnik just picked the player up instead of diving on top of him. So Sturt get a charge. Over the top of Pake's head. Filkey can't get there before it goes out of bounds alongside William Hearn. So Central's 12-11 to 9-9. They're leading by 20 points and we're 11 minutes into the last quarter.
Barbary went without it. Barbary and Krieg, and again a ball up. So Sturt need a goal, and they need it very quickly. They haven't been able to get that break that they wanted at the beginning of this last quarter.
We need a white football too, don't we, Bruce? Looks all right on the television screen, but it's not too good in reality.
It's unbelievably dark here in real life. It's Barbary to Filkey. High left footer. Now Davies and Bything. Still Davies and Bything. Thomas came in to lend assistance. Davies just a bit loose on the tackle. And Thomas will get a free kick. Not intentional, I'm sure, by Davies. I don't know why Philip Graham wants to go on with it forever. Better off to forget it. Jamie Thomas is pretty tough. He's going to throw very short. Van Dommel.
I don't think there's too much wrong with him. He just got a bit of a hit in the ear.
One bounce, Van Dommel. That's a very good kick to Cousins, who's just come off the interchange bench. Cousins to Livesey. Livesey with a drop punt. Sims, Maguire and Hewish, and it'll be a ball in.
Out of bounds on the half-forward flank. Sims is up there for Sturt. Spill just standing back at the centre of the ground on Richard Cousins, who's dropped back into the back play. And Sims will go for the knock. Lays it back towards Barbary. He can't take possession, and then grabs hold of the player. And the free kick will go to Stephen Connolly, who's really lifted himself on the half-forward flank for Centrals this quarter. Downs in front, and just chipping in, and unlucky not to take the mark was Darryl Hart. He's played very well. Centrals have got another goal though. Magnificent kick there by Centrals District's Robert Fraser. They're full forward. And I think Central's at home, Bruce. 13-11 to 9-9. I don't think Sturt are playing well enough. They're tired. They've defended for 2 quarters. And I think they're in a little bit of strife.
Marvellous goal by Fraser. He and Hart had a little argument almost over who was going to take it. Finally Fraser, and through it went.
It'll be Spiel again against Cousins. Ball just coming down. Spiel winds up, nothing happens. Hart, who's been in the thick of everything. Certainly very competitive for the ball, Darryl Hart, today. And there's a few little lights on around the edge of the oval too, but they're not doing much out in the middle. Spiel's interfered with, and he receives a free kick for in the back.
From the centre, Livesey underneath it. What a game he's played today. Handball to Thomas. Central District growing in confidence. Van Dommel missed it. And then punches a handball to Connolly. It'll be a ball in. Connolly having a big final turn. Central District in a very strong position. They shouldn't lose from here. Cousins and Spiel. Fry. Thumped forward by Filkey. Graham. And again a ball in.
Sturt can't get anything across that half-forward line at the moment, Bruce, of an ascendancy, particularly while the ball's coming in like this, they won't. They need someone to take a ball on half-forward to set them alight. Spill just laying it back, that's a little bit better. Gives it towards Pake. Well taken by Leonard. Kicks it straight into the man. Krieg under the pack. Filkey. Leonard. And Filkey gets a free kick. He's up quickly. Sturt will be looking forward to moving it on.
Filkey from half forward. We'll try and get it to Davies, I should imagine. It's a strong kick. Davies and Bytheen. Thomas read it well. Graham couldn't take it. Vivian. Central has won both wings today. Barbary. Still Barbary. And it's going to be a ball in.
Michael Graham made a hash of that on his first take, Bruce. He didn't take possession. But they still had 3-1 there for a while, Sturt. Not playing confidently.
They have to kick 5 goals in about 10 minutes, Robert. Almost impossible under the conditions. And need one very quickly. Davies lays it off to Darrington. Pake went without it. Bowen. Hearn, now Pake. Right foot around his body. That'll go through. That's what they wanted. Pake's got the goal. 10-9 to 13-11, Robert. Sturt still with a glimmer of hope.
Yes, they had a chance a while ago when Pake did that and hit the post. And then Central, of course, took advantage of that and were able to score a goal through Robert Fraser. A very good kick up in the other end of the ground. That was a nice knock again then by Davies when he got the ball over the back and gave the team a chance to get it into the centre of the ground so they could get a decent shot at the goal. And Tim Pake, who hasn't done a lot today, he's the one they've got to get to lift at centre half forward.
We've been saying 10-9 to 13-11, but it may well be 10-10. Have to check on that. That score could be out. We're going off the scoreboard, of course, calling here at the moment. Spiel and Cousins. Again, Spiel and Cousins. Cousins took off early. Fry. Ball up. 17 minutes gone. And John Painter, who went off just after quarter time, is about to get back into the game.
Spiel with his left-hander, Darrington. Darrington coming through the pack. He's blocked. Comes out through Zilm's legs. Fry can't get it. Wilson had it. And he's down. Very competitive at the moment. 15 players outside the centre square. And there's 38 on the ground. Ball kicked forward into that space at half forward for Sturt. Graham can't take possession for Central Districts. And finally it's Thomas that does, and he finds Livesey, who's made position beautifully for the rebound. He goes to wing. Connolly's there, but in front of him, the captain. No, it's not. It's Richard Cousins, I'm sorry. Saw the one. From up here, he almost looks as tall as Mobs. He goes short. Peter Krieg. Jim Darrington giving a 15-metre penalty away. Krieg had a very good game in the centre, into the pocket. Sims off hands and out of bounds.
Central in attack. 20 kicks to Krieg and 10 handballs, 30 touches. Another splendid performance by the Central District centre man. Sims and Maguire. Zubranik. Quick kick by Downs. Only as far as Hart. Hart tried to take Wilson on. Finally got it to Vivian. Left foot by Vivian. Sims used the body well.
No free.
Downs to Zubranik. Zubranik with a little one. Howard's got it. He's got some time to play on. Drop punt. Spiel had his run taken from him by Moore. Van Dommel missed it. Livesey, what a game he's played. Runs his full 15 metres, then punches the ball towards Maguire. It was almost as good as a kick anyway, going out of bounds on the half-forward flank.
Just a moment ago, Brendan Howe was very lucky not to have that kick called out of bounds when he played on. He was outside the boundary line when he played on. Normally the umpire would call that to be play on, and therefore out of bounds.
Maguire fell over and got a free kick. Darrington's not at all happy. So Central District hanging on to it now. 19 minutes gone, 13-11 to 10-9.
Player taking his time, Brendan Maguire. A strong kick into the full forward area. Fraser from behind. Michael Graham gets there first for the off hands. Edwards picks it up, or nearly picks it up. Can't quite. Ball forced towards the boundary line and out of bounds by Andrew Downs. So it's 13-11 to Central Districts and 10-9 to Sturt. 19 shots to 24. Central's in a commanding position.
Sims and Wilson. Darrington to Zubranik. Zubranik from the back pocket. Well, Wilson and Livesey having a yike on the centre wing and a free kick against Livesey.
That's what the second umpire's on the ground for, and it's good to see him watching the play up the ground rather than watching the ball coming in flight.
Wilson from half-back. Sturt have got to get a goal within the next minute or so to have any real pressure on Central District. Pake underneath it with Baum. Bubner at the back. Still Bubner. Hearn rather, to Baum. Now Fry, it sits for him. He had the handball to Howard, he didn't give it away first up. Now Wilson. Wilson towards Davies. Now can he take it? Byfield at the back. Barbary should kick a goal. Left foot, missed. Oh, that was important. Barbary should have straightened up and kicked that. But he's going to get a free kick anyway, Robert. He might have been a bit lucky.
He waited for so long before he kicked it and set it up. He's playing so badly. One wonders how Sturt can get away with playing with a player of Craig Barbary's talent at the moment. He's playing very, very badly indeed. This is the second time we've seen him, Bruce, and he certainly isn't playing well.
He's got a chance now, Robert, to keep Sturt in this game. A goal here would give them a bit of a hope. They've got a strong breeze at their back.
He's got to do something to justify himself because he certainly can't find any form, obviously. That's a good kick.
2 goals to Barbary. We'll call it 11-9 to 13-11. And so it's just 14 points of difference, and there's time, Robert. It's 21 minutes gone. Sturt has got time to kick 3 goals.
Yes, there's plenty of time, Bruce. I'd suggest there's 7 minutes left. It's going to be a very tough game. Centrals have defended very strongly. They should have a bit left in their legs, having had the win for 2 quarters already. So it's Frank Spill and Terry Moore. Terry Moore's played a very good game this afternoon. Lays it off quickly to Edwards. He gets to half forward. Zubernick spoils away. Fry coming across. Strong kick to half forward. Derrington in front. Puts the ball on his body. Gives it off quickly to Filkey. Filkey will go straight into the square. Looking for Davies. He bodies off the big fellow. Can't hold the mark.
Going to pay it, Robert. He's going to pay it.
He might have been unsighted.
Gee, that looked like it hit the ground, didn't it?
Oh, he certainly hit it. He marked it on the start, but whether it got through underneath, I don't know.
What an important kick, Robert. A goal here, and what a game we've got.
Well, the way he's been kicking, he's got about as much open kicking. This is flying over the moon. He dropped the last one like a bag of wheat. And the goal before that Rick kicked, he dropped it incorrectly and kicked the goal. Let's see how he can go. Played a very good game at full forward with a limited number of opportunities. He's dropped that one straight, Bruce. That's what makes great players great players. When the pressure's on, they produce the goods. 12-9 to 13-11.
Davies has kicked 2-3. Controversial decision there. Going Davies' way. He's played a pretty good game, actually. He's given Sturt 3 goals in that second quarter, not off his own boot.
Maybe the goal that Central's kicked that mightn't have been a goal could be pretty important, Bruce.
That's for sure. 8 points of difference. Big finish coming up. Very dark at Football Park. Wet and cold. The players are giving their all. Spiel gets it forward. Livesey. Quick kick around his body. Central need a goal to sew it up. Moore's played a great game. To centre half forward. Fraser fell over. Chance for Conley. Handball to Howard. He missed it. Wilson. It'll be a ball in.
Gee, Howard's getting back in that defensive action for his team.
Robert, just 5 minutes ago, it looked nice and safe for Central. They were leading by 26 points. But 3 quick goals by Sturt. And a totally different complexion over the game. Mobs from the front. Missed by Conley. Hewish tackled hard. And a ball up.
Very competitive at the moment. Sims competing for Sturt. Mobs and Connolly. It's Connolly. He lays it off the Mobs, does Sims. Wilson flying in. Free kick there. Sturt player, Eddie Fry. And the 15-metre penalty. And Fry's bolted. He hasn't stood the mark at all well. Lost a bit of concentration there, letting Fry get away. But he's kicked it straight to Philip Graham. But Michael Graham with a magnificent tackle. Central player with the ball under him. Sturt players hovering, no one daring to jump on top to give away the free kick. Magnificent excellent bit of play there by Michael Graham, stopping that rebound.
Almost into time on. We won't have a lot of time on, I shouldn't imagine. Not many goals scored in this term. Zubranic, Vivian's been a winner all day. Pate's there with him. Hearn paddles it out of bounds. Could have been deliberate, not paid. Gee, a goal in the next minute or so by Sturt would make it interesting. Central has just got to hang on now. We've got to win possession. Moore and Spiel on the bottom of the pack for Central District. It looks like it's Connolly, it is. Van Dommel with him, and again a ball up.
It was certainly Sturt's benefit now not to dive on top of any packs. They need the ball to get out into the space. They've got the wind behind them. Spiel lays it off. Just kicked forward there by Painter. Central's diving on top of the ball again. If Sturt allow this to happen, they've got no hope of scoring. It's better for them just to sit in the outskirts at the moment and get a ball out in the open. They've got Eddie Fry in his own on the half-back line. Any loose kick that goes up, Eddie's liable to read it. And they only need one quick rebound. There's another Central player diving on the ball and knocking it out of bounds. Can Frank Spiel get one back over the back, bruising towards the centre of the ground? That's where he wants it. He's got Howard behind with Krieg. It's the only hope they've got. Moore, front position, beautifully done. Gives it to Vivian. Wilbur Wilson skidding through. Plays it excellently. Takes it out of bounds between half forward and the forward pocket for Central Districts. They're at 13-11 and Sturt at 12-9.
It's Sims in the ruck. Connolly doing it for Central, a lot shorter, and mobs over the back. Maguire. Still Maguire. And again a ball up. The Central District look like they'll hang on. 26 and a half minutes gone. Throw up. Sims. Hewish tried to give it to Leonard. Wilson underneath it. And things just working out now for Central. As Robert said, the ball on the ground and everybody on top of it, it's wasting time. Zubranic. Hewish couldn't take it. Neither could Mobs.
See, when they dive on top like that, Bruce, all Eddie Fry had to do was stay off and not jump on top of them. Go for a holding the ball decision. Sims high. Kicked forward by Painter. Sturt running. Mishandle there in the centre of the ground by Jeff Leonard. Hewish is knocking it out. Leonard, he can't take possession. Oh, what an important take that was for Sturt. Leonard being given the ball and just letting it go straight through his fingers.
It's Moore and Spiel. Barbary, good tackle.
Holding the ball.
And Peter Krieg has got the free kick. Probably the winner now. 8 points in front. Krieg's had a great day. Howard's had some very good touches on him. Krieg to half forward. Spiel in the front spot. Reed trying to kick it away. Zubranic off the ground to Barbary. Sturt go forward again. It's over the top. Bubner. Quick kick away. Out of bounds. Just bouncing inside. And maybe any chance Sturt had went with that ball bouncing in front of the line rather than over it.
Frank Spiel, Terry Moore. Ball just tapped forward again by Moore. He's done a good job. He's kept it bottled up near the boundary line. Frank Spiel cannot